New computer means new table. New table means utter wiring nightmare. So what I need to do is I need to build a new cable box to hide all my cables, and I also want to try and cable manage what I can. So with that said, that's more or less what this video is going to be about. I don't know why someone will watch a video like this, but there are people out there that watch these type of videos. So with that said, I need to get things set up and I'll come back. Alright, so here is the general design. It's slightly bigger than the original cable box I made for my original desk here. Mainly because my new desk is significantly bigger, which means I can make this box a tad bit more bigger to help accommodate all the cables and whatnot, and fix the fix the original box, because the original box was a tad bit too small, even with all the revisions I did on that. So the next step for me to do is to try and reinforce this piece right here where the Xbox goes, because in reality, I only need just this bit right here cut off, and then just this little bit right here cut off, because that's where the HDMI goes here, and the Ethernet goes here. I decided to just cut the whole thing out because it's easier, and then I can just take some wooden popsicle sticks and just reinforce it. And also I do want to at least have some holes in there, that way so if I actually like add extra cables I can easily route. But yeah, I'll get this situated, and then I'll go and reinforce these holes too, especially this one right here. But yeah, apparently my dumb cat Patty wants water, and she actually needs water. Alright, got the reinforcement boxes done. They only need to be done on the outside. So the next step is to actually attach this to the table. I'm going to attach it using duct tape because, well, it's only handling cables and duct tape is more than strong enough. And I really don't want to screw any screws into the table other than the screws that are provided for, obviously, the table itself. I want to try and keep this table as pristine as possible for as long as possible. I don't want the table to turn into that. Alright, so I got it attached via duct tape, like I said before. And it's going to more or less hold, because again, all it is just hiding a bunch of wires. I really don't need to go too over the top of this thing, because again, it's wires. So the next step for me to do is to put all my components, computer, monitor, Xbox, and whatnot, back on this desk and reconnect all the wiring and whatnot, and then I can use that to properly cable manage everything, because I need everything in place first. That way, so if I want to move the monitor back and forth, I'll have enough cables still slacked away so I can easily move the monitor back and forth. Same thing with the computer, because every now and then I will want to slide it in and out. So I'm going to get all that situated off camera and come back. Alright, I caught a fire waiting to happen. So I'm in the process of cable managing and whatnot. And this is the cable I've been using for my computer so far. It's fine, but the gauge is small compared to the gauge of the cable that came with my new power supply. You can clearly see the gauge difference. So the cable that came with the power supply is significantly bigger, and it can more properly handle the power draw of the power supply. Granted, I'm never going to hit the power supply limit or the draw limit of that PSU, but the last thing I want to do is be running an insufficient cable with an 850 watt power supply. So what I need to do now is I need to find another one of these type of gauge cables, since they have the gauging on the actual sleeve and whatnot, and find one from hopefully a hardware store of some sort that's maybe like 3 feet longer than the current one right here, because this one's too short. And that's because I have my UPS right here. I was originally thinking of putting my UPS there, but it's just too fat. Unless I want to try and put the UPS right over here. The reason why I'm not going to do that is because that's where I have my hot glue gun and whatnot, and I have my soda and whatnot. I very rarely spill, but just in that rare instance it spills, if it spills on the UPS is dead. So I have to unfortunately leave it there. So for the time being, I'm going to have to forego my computer because the last thing I want to do is start a electrical fire, especially from a non-adequate power cable. So I'm probably going to be going without my main desktop for 3 to 4 days. Luckily, my secondary right here is still a very competent gaming machine. I'll just have to get used to, instead of being like this and having my legs kind of pushed in on me and whatnot. But this is exactly why I want to have two computers. For if my main is out of commission for some weird reason, I still have something to fall back on. But I am still going to try and cable manage everything else, because even though I'm not able to use my main computer due to an insufficient power cable, I can still wire everything else up. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to start by extending the wires for my speakers again. Alright, I'm at a stopping point for tonight. I'm getting a little agitated and I don't know why. Mostly because I'm autistic and stupid. But I'm getting a little agitated and I think it might be time for me to actually halt for a while and go to bed. So I temporarily hooked up my internet and whatnot so I can have TV and of course have internet. So I will come back sometime later today when I'm fully awake, and I will get all this crap situated and whatnot. So yay. Alright, cable management is getting close to being complete. You'll still be able to see the cables no matter what I do, unless I physically put a little blocker here and whatnot. But with that said, at least now I can actually put my foot down and not be in constant contact with cables, and everything looks a little bit more nicer because of that. So with that said, next step is to get the internet from my room and whatnot, or my personal internet, all set up. So what I plan on doing is I plan on integrating the Wi-Fi with the box here, and basically I'm going to rebuild this whole piece right here, make it slightly bigger, and have the actual switch right here inside like this, and have the the Wi-Fi router thing on top, and have all the cables nicely tucked inside and also routed underneath and whatnot. So I'm not going to bore you with the actual build process, but I'll come back when I actually get everything put together. Well, I got it attached to the wall finally, and if it isn't obvious, I kind of more destroyed my wall than it already was. But I more or less got it leveled, I think. So the next step for me to do is to clean all this crap up, and then start getting all the connections made for this and start properly cable managing everything. I made sure that prior to mounting this, that my computer still fits under there completely fine, and it does. So next step, of course, is clean everything up and start cable managing. Alright, I got everything set back up, all the cables reconnected, everything powered on. So when it comes to the actual Ethernet switch and how I have everything set up, main connection on line 1, main desktop, secondary, Xbox Series S, streaming, and the Wi-Fi router you see on the top right here. So generally speaking, everything's working. Obviously you don't see the lights for my two desktops. One, because my main right here, again, I don't have the proper power cable. My father ordered one and that's supposed to come in on Sunday. It should really come in Monday, but it's coming in through Amazon, so whatever. So I'll be off, so I will not be able to use this for a few days. And the reason why I don't have the secondary plugged in also is because I actually don't have a long enough cable to route it from all the way from routing it from here, underneath the table, to the cable box, all the way through the cable box, all the way down to the desktop right here. The cables I currently got, the light ones I've been using, they're 7 foot. I need a 10-foot cable, I think, to get the job done. So off to ordering something from Amazon again. It's times like this that makes me happy I have a Xbox Series S, because as I said before, my main desktop is out of commission until I can get a proper power cable. So for the time being, I'm going to be using my Series S for most of my gaming, and every now and then use my secondary because there's a few games I want to play, like War of the Warships, War Thunder, and whatnot that do have an Xbox variant, but I'd rather play it on PC because, let's be honest, a game like that plays better on PC. Even Sea of Thieves plays better on the PC, but again, my main desktop is down, and I really don't want to play Sea of Thieves long term on this thing at a weird ass angle. So I think that's more or less it for this video.